PTP, positive thinking people. PTP, positive thinking people.
Real Talk Live with Dr. Rodney Grimes. People to people, power to power, positive thinking people. Yes, with Sir Rod and Lady Z. It's not about you, it's not about me, it's about we. In God we trust.
PTP, positive thinking people. PTP, positive thinking people. PTP, positive thinking.
All right. Good evening. Lord have mercy. Whew. Here I am. It's Monday. Motivational Monday. Blessed Monday. It's Monday. Thank God that we are here. Those who may be watching, those who's going to watch later. And I send peace and blessings to the ones who don't watch. So, my topic today is the man in the mirror. The man in the mirror, okay? So that could be the woman in the mirror, the child in the mirror, the teenager in the mirror. It could be any individual. We're talking about you, yourself. And when I say that, I can see my picture or see my face. So definitely talking to Dr. Rodney Grimes, the man that I see in the mirror. And why did I get this topic? Because I've been experiencing a lot as I have been trying to move forward to continue to do the podcast and to put out good information to help people, interview people. And it's been a lot going on. And I've had to really look at myself to evaluate what was my intentions, where am I going, what's my plan for tomorrow, what's my plan for today. So with that said, I had to stop and go back and look at the man in the mirror. And that's myself. And I'm going to talk about a few things personal a little bit. Just recently, we returned back from South Carolina to celebrate my Uncle James' 80th birthday. I was thinking about him. We also had to do the memorial for my brother-in-law, Kenneth, known as Butch Gray. And actually, yeah. And a lot of thought went into me personally, how I was moving and some of the things that I was doing. When I was riding back, that was an 8-hour ride. And I don't like really listening to music when I drive because I be conversating with God. Me and Yah, we be talking with one another. I do it, and I be paying attention to the road, but I be talking to God all the way. And if I can just put it in this metamorphosis right now to let you think that it's like me, the man in the mirror, I'm talking to God about what I want to do and what I need to do and what he want me to do and how I'm going about it. Now, when I mentioned about my Uncle James, that's actually my wife's uncle, but he my uncle too. I mean, this man, I sat and watched him as he celebrated 80 years of his life. And as a man who look into the mirror, I saw him. He's not a man to speak much, but he don't have to say a lot. He's just a good man. And I'm sure when he look in the mirror, he can smile at himself. Because I smile when I look at him. I had the experience of watching him, seeing his legacy that he's leaving behind whenever he transitioned. And he got a serious legacy. Let me tell you. I mean, this man. But I thought about him just when I was getting on to come on the air, thinking about the man in the mirror. How do he feel when he look at his children and his grandchildren and his great grandchildren, and maybe some of the great great grandchildren? I don't know, because he got a serious clan. I ain't lying. When I talk about the grandchildren got up there to stand behind him, it was close to 40, if not more, and quite a few was missing. But when you think about a man like that, he can look in the mirror and he can smile and look back on the legacy, and they could be proud of who he is and the legacy that he's going to leave behind. Then I thought about myself. How will people look at me? And how will my kids look at me? How will my grandkids look at me? So I have to look at myself in the mirror and ask myself that question and just be truthful. So my topic of the day would be, can you look in the mirror and ask yourself some questions about who you are, what you're doing, if you're really a good person? Are you worthy to for people to smile at you and to look at you and say, hey, thank you for being you? I mean, how many of us can look in the mirror and say that? To be the man in the mirror or the woman in the mirror and look at yourself and say that and have no regrets. I have a few, but not many. I have a few, but not many. And that's the one good thing that I'm proud of myself. I got people who pass judgment on me, but when I look in the mirror, I know the truth when I talk to myself, and they know the truth when they talk to themselves, and God knows the truth. If it's anybody who wants to be judgmental to me, I don't have a problem coming on the ad because I don't have nothing to hide. No, I don't. I can look in the mirror and be really proud of who Dr. Rodney Alice Grimes is today. I can be proud of myself. Let's make it just about me being that man in the mirror. I want to talk about you. What kind of person are you in the mirror? Are we coming together as a people to support one another? Are we making changes in our life so we can be our brothers and sisters keepers? Are we just being selfish and don't care about nothing but ourselves? Can you look in the mirror and ask yourself, do you really care about your neighbor? Do you care about your brother? Do you care about your sister? Do you care about your loved ones? Do you care about your children, your uncles, your aunts, cousins? I saw that over the weekend as we were celebrating my Uncle James' life, his birthday. I saw that, man. It was beautiful. I saw how all his kids gathered around and his grandchildren, man. Oh, man, I thought that was so beautiful. And now all I can think about is him looking in the mirror and smiling and said, man, I did okay. So I'm wondering how many of us can do that today. I ran downstairs and grabbed this book. This is a book that was given to me by my son, and it's Faith, Fish, and Family. Now, if I was to look at the man in the mirror, this is going to be really what's going to identify me in a way for sure. It's going to be definitely people know that I love God. I love the Lord. I do. I love him unconditionally. I don't claim to be no Baptist, no Christian, no Jew, Gentile, none of that. I just claim to be a man that loves serving Yah. I love being in his footsteps. And I try to do that every day. I get up in the morning, going to the bathroom, guess what? After I say to myself, good day and peace and blessings, and thank you, Lord, for another day, I'll turn around and I'll be looking right in the mirror and see the man in the mirror. And then I got to be satisfied with that individual that I see. And it puts me in a position then I can start to move into my day and walk with my head up and be proud of who I am. Can you do that? Can you do that? So I just came on really, hopefully just be real brief because it is Motivational Monday. I continue to do the podcast because I know that this is a commitment that I made, and I will continue to keep this commitment as long as I can, as long as God put it in my spirit, as long as I can look at the man in the mirror and not be ashamed of who he is. I will continue to do so. And so I'm thinking just about a few people. So I'm gonna bring up another person named, again, we had to do a service for my brother-in-law. And it's so funny. We take things for granted, right? Me and my brother-in-law, Butch, we didn't talk that much. When we did, I think he knew my energy. He knew that I was a serious guy. And whenever I was around him, he didn't really say too much to me. He ain't talk too much nonsense to me. But let me tell you what I got from him. Here, just recently, it made me become conscious of who I am and how I treat people. It made me become conscious of if I tell somebody I love them, and do I mean it? It made me become aware of don't take today for granted. With his passing, it did something very, very powerful to me as a man who's going to be responsible for his actions. And so to my brother-in-law, Butch, who has rest in peace. Thank you, Butch, because I seriously been thinking about that. Just how I treat people, how I want to be treated, and what kind of neighbor am I? What kind of father am I? What kind of brother am I? What kind of man am I? What had happened? I was listening to people who talk about him after he had passed, and I listened to what they were saying and how they, they saw him in the mirror. And that was funny. And when I say funny, it wasn't funny for me to bust out laughing like it was a joke. It was funny because it hit home with me that we got to pay attention to who we are and what we do. Watch how you talk to people. Remember the last thing you said to a person. The last time you saw them. And if it was something good or negative. And how would you feel if you get the phone call and all of a sudden they tell you that they're gone? What would you think? You better look in the mirror and ask yourself, where are you mentally, physically, spiritually, with your friends, with your loved ones, with your God, with your creator? Where are you? Look in the mirror and ask yourself that. The craziest thing? If you look in the mirror and lie to the face that you see in the mirror, that's something. That's something you got to think about. So, me personally, I think about that, and I'm really, really conscious of where I am. How you doing, Angela? Thank you, sweetheart. Again, I'm Dr. Rodney Alice Grimes, the host of the People to People podcast. And my topic today is the man in the mirror. How do you see yourself? The woman in the mirror, the child in the mirror. Do you see yourself as an individual who's being productive and doing the right thing? Are you really, really, being honest with yourself? I do this with different friends, associates, I listen to them and I try to be as honest with them as I can so that they see my reflection as something good, as a positive thinking person, as a person who mean well and want to do well for not just for myself, but for others. So I know a lot of people will tune in and they'll say, man, I don't want to sit and listen to this guy just talk as if he's some philosopher or something like that. But it's not that. All I'm doing is just speaking truth. Look in the mirror and see what kind of person you are. Tell yourself the truth. What type of person are you in your relationship? Are you a good father? Are you a good mother? You know, when I look at my sons, if I know that I can walk with my chest up and be proud of being a good man, then I don't worry about the reflection that they see, my sons. I don't worry about the reflection that they see with themselves because I know that I'm doing the right thing. I'm living the right life. And even for my daughters. But I wonder, can they look at it and see their reflection and do the same thing? Ask yourself, can you look in the mirror? Can you look in the mirror and be proud of who you are? Can you look in the mirror and say, hey, I'm living a good life. I'm doing the right thing. I don't have to look behind my back. I don't have to run and hide from nobody. So when I look in the mirror, I smile and I say, Rodney, Dr. Grimes, you doing all right. You know, I care about my fellow man. I try to do the best I can to help people. That's why I do what I do. That's why I'm on here speaking right now. For those who may come on here. And some people may think I'm some narcissist, some guy who got some kind of crazy ego. That is not it. I cannot sit down and not do anything. I cannot be a part of the problem and not a part of the solution. I just can't. I know that when I look in the mirror, that's something that God sent in my spirit. So he say, you know what, Rodney? You're going to be one guy that when it's time to fight for what's right, you're going to stand up. God put that in my spirit. And when I see myself in the mirror, that's what I know, that's what I have to do. You know, I got situations, I see people struggling. And I say to myself, can I look at myself in the mirror and don't do anything? When I think about the history and the people that have made sacrifices for me and my family and friends and associates, can I look in the mirror and don't do anything? Can I look in the mirror and act like I don't see what's going on? I have to do my part. So the little bit that I'm sharing with you today, I hope that you'll take from it and look in the mirror and ask yourself, who are you? And if you look in the mirror and you really don't care who you are, or you don't care what nobody think about you, let me tell you something. I promise you, the day when it becomes that you're ready to take your last breath will be the day that the mirror will be there for you to look into. And it may not be a physical one, but it's sure going to be a spiritual one. Because it's nobody right now walking alive can come and tell you how it's going to be after you take that last breath. What's the next journey? And you better be prepared. You better be prepared. Each one of us. Look in the mirror and look at yourself. Ask yourself, are you ready? As I get older, I become wiser. and I start to say, you know what, I can do better this, I can do better that. And I don't claim to be perfect. I still got some things I got to work on. I do. But I do take the time to look in the mirror and then not pass judgment on nobody else, just only on myself. I put myself in a position where I'll question me. And I can say, yo, you doing okay? Or no, you're not doing okay. You need to fix this. Don't say that. Don't do this. So I ask a lot of individuals who support the podcast or see me, the ones who see me for the first time, to know that I am a man who look in the mirror on a daily basis to evaluate myself. I try not to put out false information. And when I say try not to, meaning I try not to repeat something that I don't know if there's any truth behind it. But normally when I say something, it's something I can stand on. It's some facts. So I just continuously put myself in a position where I'm able to see my reflection and be proud of it. I'm hoping that everyone that tunes into the People to People podcast, you'll see the guests that I bring on, that they are individuals who's trying to do some positive things in the community. They got different businesses and product, or they are celebrities in their own communities, or they're just trying to put a good taste in some people's mouth and put a smile on some people's face. So, I tell them my slogan is people to people, power to power, positive thinking people. You know what that is. The people to people, that's you and me. The man in the mirror. The power, that's the power you possess, the power I possess. The man and woman in the mirror, positive thinking people. The ones that can look in the mirror and smile and say, hey, I'm doing okay. So, I'm not going to be long. I just wanted to come on and tell you, take your time and look in the mirror and ask yourself those questions. Are you okay? What are you doing to make a difference? How are you treating those people that are supposed to be your loved ones? Are you telling them that you love them and mean it? Are you trying to make things good for them? So I'm kind of looking on here. I'm in my office at home, and I'm looking on the wall, and I got things that I write to keep reminding me to do better, and to go and look in the mirror and check myself. So, for all the individuals who you are trying to move forward, look in the mirror. Look at yourself. This book was pretty much talking about my life, and how I feel about my faith, and my hobby is fish, and talking about my family, how I love my family, and and it's something as I look through the book, it makes me see my reflection. It makes me see who I am, what I stand for. So that's something that I have to deal with when I look in the mirror, because I got to see me. All right, so with that said, I'm your host, Dr. Rodney Grimes. This is People to People, the People Podcast Talk Show. We got some things lined up. We kind of been moving a little slow here and there because we've been lifing, and it's been rough. And a lot's been going on. I want to send my condolences out to those who lost a loved one just recently, because it's happening. My mother told me when she was alive, she said, the longer you live, the more people you're going to see die. When she told me that, I didn't understand it. But I understand it now. And as I move forward and go into my next day, I'm going to go look in the mirror and I'm going to ask myself, am I okay? Am I doing the right thing? Am I looking out for the people? I know it's a lot of people that can't look in the mirror and tell themselves the truth. They can't say that they are doing the right thing. So I send peace and blessing to you. Y'all keep me in your prayer. I just want to come in for a minute. And I'm getting ready to go eat me some watermelon. Hey, and get prepared to be ready for the man in the mirror.